win for them.
Man, and that leads us right into the next one. We're talking about the Bucks.
I like that win for the Pelicans, man. I think they made out like bandits.
I mean, I'm not saying that they didn't make out, but Drew Holiday has more value for the Bucks than he did the Pelicans, because I think that he is one of those players in the NBA that goes around and he's very underrated by a lot of people.
No, I think he's appropriately rated. I think people respect his game and respect who he is as a player. And,
No, but that's not what I'm saying. I feel like people minimize the amount of impact that he can have on a team.
Maybe I just think when you look at it on paper, the Bucks have always been a contender. So, when you have Giannis, how far can you fall? I feel like that's kind of the philosophy that they had in Cleveland with LeBron. Is they said, we have LeBron. What's the worst we can do by trading some of these auxiliary pieces? You're trying to maximize your guys. So I mean, do the trades make the Bucks bet? Like, do they make them? Does it get them over the top? Does it get them a win, or does it just prove to Giannis we're willing to please don't leave us for Miami? Like, we can make it
Miami,
but we can make adjustments to our roster to suit you. We're willing to go out and make moves for you, sir. It's not, we're not going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers and pull in Ilgauskas and Mo Williams to be your 2 and 3.
My opinion, I don't know what Drew Holiday brings to their franchise that Eric Bledsoe and George Hill couldn't.
But I think it was the fact that it's almost them in combination. You know what I'm saying? Because Eric Bledsoe had not looked like the Eric Bledsoe that they traded for when they got him. He looked a little bit compromised. He wasn't finishing at the rim like he used to, and his shot had fallen off a little bit. So I mean, his production was down. He didn't look as good as he did, and then George Hill having to step in and be like the bench, but kind of like share the minutes with Bledsoe. It was
Drew Holiday does everything that they do
in combination,
but as one player.
Exactly. You traded 2 players for one player that does everything that those 2 players does at a higher clip.
And I feel like now New Orleans gets a little bit of veteran leadership. They still get some competent veteran point guard play to go along with. I don't know. I really like that move for New Orleans more so than I like it for Milwaukee.
But I think with Milwaukee, the thing is, we talk about how we concentrated 2 players into one. When you do that, it gives you another actual option in the playoffs. Instead of you having to be like, oh, I'm going to kick it out to George Hill, and hopefully George Hill channels Pacers George Hill and has some kind of run to the rim or a pick and roll or a step back 3. Like, like you're banking on that happening versus, oh, I give to Drew Holiday, and I know that Drew Holiday can get me a bucket.
Do we know that?
Yes.
And we also say that like George Hill wasn't the league leader in 3-point percentage this season.
Okay, but percentage is different versus like number of attempts. It's not like he shot at like Steph number of attempts and had the highest percentage. It's like he shot the highest percentage on the season. Usage rate is important in stats.
Of course, we'll see.
If you're if you're a 6 point per game player and you have the highest 3-point percentage, that means that you're taking 3 threes a game and you're making 2 out of your 3 threes, and sometimes you miss it. You missed one of those three threes. Like, you're not bringing a whole lot to the table from 3. I'm sorry. Stats are bendable when you look at it like that.
But there's also a ceiling. There's a limit. You got to take a minimum of X amount of attempts to even be in this category.
It's like 100. So pretty much, if you played the season, you get in the category. It tries to exclude people who play garbage minutes and people who play like under 10 minutes a game.
Did you say George Hill led the NBA?
He at one point at least he was up there
in his career.
No, like
so he made 46% of his threes, which did lead the league this year. But he took 3 a game.
That's exactly what I said. He was a 6 point per game person. So he's taking. Did I not hit it on the head?
Like you would rather have Redick shooting 45% and taking it when you rounded up 7 a game.
Yeah. So like the number that you hit based on the number that you take is important. Yes, he was the most accurate, but he was the most accurate on like 3 tries, and they were probably wide open because he was either playing on the second string or he was playing in a situation where he knew he was going to be like the third option, and nobody going to be guarding him from the corner. Like set shots.
Would you rather have George Hill shooting threes or Buddy Hield?
I want the one who's going to hit him if I pass it to him.
No, but here's the thing. Buddy Hield hit 40% of his threes on almost 10 attempts.
Not so much.
Because he had to shoot it because his team was
but
garbage.
still he's hitting it.
But he's hitting the shot.
He can hit it at a high clip, which is what you want out of a shooter.
Would you rather have like 1.5 out of every 3, or would you rather have 4 out of every 10?
Well, then you're kind of breaking it down to how do you get in these shots? Because if in the flow of your offense, if you're having to constantly create shots, and then of course you're going to be taking more. As opposed to if you got the flow of the offense, if I got somebody that can run it and I just get a knockdown wide open shot.
I don't know, man. I respect George Hill. I just think that when you consolidate who players are into one player, it helps you in clutch time because they can get you a bucket versus getting set up for a bucket.
George Hill was not in the top 50 players in 3-pointers made a game.
Yeah, so he was in the bottom half of the league in attempts.
No, I'm talking makes.
Oh, makes. Number of makes. That's quantity.
Okay.
So he's taking away fewer.
For the season, James Harden had the most makes at 4.4.
Jeez.
Okay. The way that this ESPN list, it shows me the top 50. Number 50 tied for 47th was LeBron, Siakam, Lauri Markkanen, and Kawhi Leonard, all at 2.2.
Yeah, George Hill's down there. More of the story. But yeah,
I can take it to the top 100, and it doesn't get us to George Hill. I don't think.
Dang. That was a bad comp, bro. Anyway,
Look,
it was a bad point. It was a bad hill to die on. George Hill's not the hill to die on. That's all I'm saying.
knock him down. That's all I'm saying.
When you get him, hit him.
Hello?